We should never allow the government to decide what is acceptable speech and what is unacceptable speech. We should penalize behaviors, not opinions, and not speech. If you start trying to regulate speech, you start trying to regulate thoughts, you start trying to regulate beliefs rather than behaviors, there's no way that you're not going to abridge the constitutional rights of millions of Americans.
As Jason walked the streets of a future Earth, he remembered the moments when he first appeared in the Holocaust that would take place in a few moments. His mind flashed between the world of now and the nightmare of flinting images to come. It truly was a nightmare for Jason, who wanted to see the future but not participate in it as he has been forced to do. A world that resembled Blade Runner but showed Jason humanity had not progressed beyond their own arrogant desires to be rulers of the world. The moments ticked by for Jason as though they were in slow motion. He saw the bombs materializing around him, but the machine would not let him be harmed by the apocalypse to come. He didn't even have time to wet his underpants, for the machine moved him quicker than a twinkle of his eye from one moment to the next.
Boy, do I need to find a way out of this spinning vortex. Dr. McNabb, I know you can hear me. Please send me out of this. I'm getting dizzy. Besides, I need clean underwear again.
The women who did survive the Holocaust would be useful to help mankind evolve into a more harmonious society where laughter would be heard everywhere, but not the crying and screaming feminine wiles that men had always had to tolerate. This would be the last generation that men would ever see, unless the scientific community decided it might want one or two females to maintain the gender gap they themselves had created before the annihilation of the human race. Jason thought to himself, it would be a better world. No child would ever die again, because no woman would say, "It's my body, it's my choice." Men would not be carriers of the child procreated, but they knew life was precious. That's what counts in this new world. No egos to destroy the mind anymore, only happiness and tranquility. The world might have advanced technologically, but when you saw the degeneracy of humankind, it was no different than the world he knew in 2024. Life was no more important in 2064 than in 2024. Jason could only remind himself, his guilt itched constantly. He wondered if anyone would even care if he just strutted naked on the streets. They had no interest in anything now, only themselves. No, Jason thought. He must show dignity even if they don't anymore. This was the feminist desire, to control humanity and in particular, men and boys. They had their way, but it didn't help mankind at all. This small 7-year-old boy who would witness the elimination of humanity in a world of horror no child should ever witness. His only thoughts again, where's the bathroom here? Did they now go wherever they wanted, like in ancient times when indoor plumbing didn't exist?
My clone son, let's find a Pizza Hut somewhere. They do still exist, don't they? Maybe we can find another pizza place. I love pizza, you know. You only eat ration cubes now. They have no taste, no texture, only pretty colors to pop in your mouth. Maybe I can do something to help your nutrition department upgrade your options a bit more.
Jason knew his children of the future would survive. You see, because of his undamaged DNA, the scientists of the future would be able to clone a new race of human beings. He was literally their biological father. Only 7 and how the father of over 11,000 children. The best part was women would never again be the equation. Using incubators, the scientists could artificially create life beyond even the test tube. The XX chromosome was never perfected after the end of humanity. Men weren't unhappy though, no more nagging wife or girl being the nuisance of a family life. Men would continue the race as he was the first created. Feminism has made mankind more unwilling to think of a female influence on society anymore. Jason agreed wholeheartedly. He saw the world even after the destruction, but being in a time warp like this, he was not affected by the radiation. He just walked on and on, absorbing all he saw around him. What had happened to the people he knew, the people he loved? They were no more. Human beings had wiped off the race and the species of humankind once and for all. What would survive would be subhuman, living underground. Surviving minute by minute, having no hope of tomorrow because radiation had made them all sterile. Oh, what just happened? Jason remembers he was asleep and still wants to be. Who cares if he farts now? His aunt won't do anything. She's still locked up in the insane asylum.
ممران دقنيش
قديش عمرها؟
4 سنين. هاي خيرين بالبحر هاي البيت جدي بس.
On August 17th, 2016, a small 3-year-old boy captured the world's attention in Aleppo, Syria, when he and his family were seriously injured during airstrikes by Russian bombardment over his neighborhood. Bantam Books Early Development Publications presents this young adult early reader book, intended to show the upheaval that took place in Aleppo from the point of view of a small toddler, how he endured the suffering he saw and felt that horrible night, and how they brought him to safety from his destroyed apartment with his sister, Roa, and his brother, Abdullah. Omran Daknish is his name, and what he endured lives on in the hearts of millions around the world to this day. Treasure this book with your own child. Hug your child every day. Remember those who are still suffering around the world today in Ukraine and other parts of the world from wars, famine, disease, and pestilence. We must remember every child. Through this book, we hope to show you and your child the hope of love and survival in the midst of unbelievable odds.
Here's the new light hanging with the brand new flame. Panda knocks out decay germs best of all eating brands, even better than fluoride toothpaste. Brush ya, brush ya, brush ya. Here's the new Panda. Tastes good too. New Panda toothpaste.